Hola, mi amigos and amigas, I guess. How's it going? I know it's been about 3,000 million trillion years since I've made a video of anything, really. True story, though. So I've been doing, like, tons of small videos just on my camera for whatever. Like, even back in, like, February when we did Wild Wild West Con and stuff like that. Or even, God, that was last February. Holy crap. Anyway, long story short, I thought I had it set to automatic upload to my YouTube channel, but apparently it hadn't been doing that at all. So I have a huge backlog of videos that I'm going to get around to uploading, but now I am very depressio and, you know, it's a thing. So yes, I'm being a bad person. I'm driving right now, which is hence why I'm not going to be looking down at the camera at all. Sorry. But I figured that I might as well have this conversation with you right meow. About another Let's Talk About Cosplay video. So I know that this was supposed to be a slightly bigger project of mine, but obviously real life kind of gets in the way of all of our plans. So this video is one that's been requested both by a couple of friends back in my hometown and by a lot of other people, is the question of how to, like, even start, how to pick a costume, how to pick a character, how to, like, just the entire very beginning processes of cosplaying. So first off, let's address the whole situation of a professional costumer. I wanted to finger quotes right now, but I can't. A professional costumer versus a hobbyist, somebody who's doing it just for the shits and giggles, which all of us are pretty much doing it for the shits and giggles, just depending on... Anyway, you know what I mean. So for me personally, I am trying to come at it from sort of almost... I don't want to say a modeling standpoint, because this isn't modeling in any way, shape, or form, but one of my goals is to be hired by companies to portray the characters themselves as they look. For example, there's a character from The Witcher 3 that has my face. Like, so many friends have sent me screen grabs and stuff being like, dude, what? So... Like things like that, things like it's easy for me to portray Rogue because I look very much like her, etc., etc. So with me personally, a lot of the physical similarities kind of make a bigger difference than what it would with anybody else. However, first, the very, very, very first thing that comes to mind, or that I take into consideration, I guess you could say, is how much I love the character. Me personally, not a lot of people, well, not a lot of professional costumers will have this point of view, and honestly, it's nobody's point, like, it's nobody's business but your own, why you're cosplaying the character that you are. But my number one is how much I love the character. For example, when I was a kid growing up, there were no brown-haired, green-eyed Barbie dolls. There was Rogue from the X-Men, and there was Sailor Jupiter from Sailor Moon. That was it. And you know how when you're little, you care about the characters that look like you. So that's all I had. So I started liking them, first off, because of their physical similarities to me, and then I fell in love with their storylines and the show and all of it through that. That was just kind of like the gateway, you know? So, and I personally also have the opinion of, well, not the opinion, but it's almost coincidental that I only like to cosplay my favorite character, or one character, whichever it were, from each show or game or whatever. So the only X-Men that I really ever want to cosplay is Rogue. The only Sailor Scout that I ever really want to cosplay is Sailor Jupiter. Sorry, I just looked down all of a sudden and my phone froze. I got really confused. So, what was I saying? Oh, right. Okay, so yeah, first off is how much I love the character. I'm never going to cosplay anything that I know absolutely nothing about or don't particularly care for. Switch! And that sort of thing. The second thing that I do is physical similarities, which, again, isn't something that not everybody needs to worry about, but it's something that I take into consideration. Then after that, the third thing that I pay attention to when it comes to choosing somebody to cosplay is how much work I'm wanting to put into it, which honestly, if I'm totally lazy, I'm not going to be making an armor build, you know? But also, another big thing, since I'm out here in Hawaii now, is am I going to be able to even get all the materials that I need in order to do it? For example, the fabric stores out here, not very great unless you're making like something with a ton of aloha fabric, like the Hawaiian print stuff everywhere. Any other type of fabric, gonna be a little bit harder to find if you can find it at all. There are a couple good fabric stores out here, don't get me wrong, but aloha fabric is kind of the thing. Let me see here, what else is there? So, I mean, honestly, that's the easiest way to figure out who to pick to cosplay, is by if they look similar to you, if you want to go that route, by if you absolutely love the character, which you should, and also by what is within your budget and within your skill level and within your like ability to get the materials. Because does that make sense? Yes, that makes sense. You know what I'm talking about. You're used to how I talk by now. So yeah, I mean, that's personally how I pick. And of course, with Project Annie, switch again. With Project Annie and Project Rogue, I definitely have enough cosplay fodder to last me quite a long time. So there's that. I think that pretty much is about it for how to choose a character. Another thing that you might want to take into consideration is how you're going to be able to, like, how many people have done it before? And I don't mean that in the, like, the hipster, I did it first kind of way. I mean that in a, how many people can you find that have done it so that you can pick their brain? Like, there are so many girls, like, Rogue has been cosplayed to death. So, personally, I love getting in touch with Rogue cosplayers that I really like and asking them, how did you do your wig? How did you do your spandex? How did you do your whatever? So, if it's a character that a ton of people have done before, don't be afraid to still do it. That's a good thing, because there's a bigger chance of you being able to find tutorials and how-to and everything of that nature, which is definitely gonna help. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of that. I think I'm running a little longer than I intended to, but what if? That's not too bad. Yeah, so obviously, as always, if you have any comments or questions, or you need help picking a character or whatever, you know how to get a hold of me. Leave it in the comments below. I have a super big uber thank you to Gigawatts, who you should look up on Facebook. I'll put her stuff down below too. I don't know if you've seen, but at Central Coast Comic Con this past weekend, I wore Daenerys's wedding gown from the show, and that was all Gigawatts. Like with Project Annie, I'm not doing any of this myself. It's all commissioners. Had a couple of commissioners back out, and Becky Gigawatts saved my butt. She's going through some personal stuff right now, and she will probably be taking commissions on a more frequent basis. I would so recommend hitting her up. The gown is absolutely amazing, and I'm not just saying that because she's a friend of mine and because she saved my butt. It's actually, like, for a rush order too, she did absolutely amazing. So she is my little commissioner shout out for the day. So yeah, I will talk to you guys later. Be good. I love you mucho, mucho, mucho. Bye.